Hello everybody, this is Frogman and welcome back to Manufactio. It's going to be episode 18. We're starting off over in the oil processing facility just so I can kind of tie up loose ends from the last episode where we built some pump jacks, which that one is now gone, and that one is now gone because they didn't have a whole lot in them, and I've since moved into the chunks that are over there and got 4 of them going. All of those chunks right here had anywhere between 10,000 millibuckets, or what is it, 10,000 buckets and 14 or 15,000 buckets. I've got a little bit more oil over there where you can just see that little pillar, right? Whoop, don't do that. What did you do that for? It's supposed to be, what is the button? It's not this, it's, why is it shooting? It shouldn't be shooting. Hang on a minute. Oh, I know what we did. Let me shut this off. There we go. Couple of pillars right over there. Kind of hard to see, but that's pretty much all the leftovers of the oil around in this area. I kind of figured that I wasn't going to have a lot of oil, and I'm kind of playing that game right now. So that little bitty sulfuric acid situation over there has really eaten up all of the gasoline that I have been producing. This has been empty for quite a while, and even with the new pumps, I am not keeping any kind of stock as far as oil is concerned, and this thing has been running non-stop. So in order to try to accumulate a little bit more oil, or I should say gasoline, I went ahead and built 2 more chemical plants so that we can crack the lubricant that we're getting into gasoline, and they all have speed upgrades in them, and they should be off. Actually, they're not off right now because this one still has something in it, but yeah, we're out of material, so we're gonna have to do something about that. There are 2 other options, which one of which we're going to try to unlock today is to be able to reprocess the bitumen into, or bitumen, however you say that, into usable oil using an addition that was added basically because of one of my ideas to the mod pack, the Frogman processor. I am going to probably go ahead and get that unlocked today and build several of them, which means we're going to have to feed it some stuff, but we'll look into that in a later episode. And then the other option, which is doable, is the coal liquefaction process. So let me see, I need a chemical plant, which is here. There's an option in here to be able to use a little bit of diesel, a little bit of steam, and a little bit of coal to make liquefacted coal. Liquefacted coal can then be run through an immersive engineering, what is this, refinery or whatever this thing is called, the distillation tower, to produce oil products. I have an ungodly amount of coal over here. There's like probably 300 or 400,000 coal sitting in this area just in the regular factory zero deposits, and then I have several of the other types which we can mine with an excavator that will give us a coal ore, and we can then run the coal ore through a crusher which will get us 6 pieces of coal. So I may end up having to do that out here, which means we're going to have to make an expansion to our nice processing facility. Anyhow, all this other stuff is working fairly well. The factory has not been doing anything because we've been trying to create a lot of sulfuric acid. I have been creating a lot of sulfuric acid because I went ahead and built another, get that over here, another building. Because if we're going to do sulfuric acid, we need to do some, some more of the advanced ore processing stuff. So let me see. I probably lost, which one did I lose? Did I lose that one? Okay, awesome. I love this thing. It's so nice to get back and forth. Yep, we got another building over here. And this is going to be the building for kind of, I still have to do a little bit of work on it, but I needed to get it running so that we can do some processing. This building is going to be what I'm going to call my advanced ore processing and smelting factory. So in here, we're going to be working with titanium, and we're going to be working with uranium. So all of the products that come out of those 2 types of ores. So I have some placement blocks for some various machines, and we'll go over that in just a second. And since we had all that sulfuric acid, I started processing yellow cake. And since you can process yellow cake, I decided I was also going to start processing the 2 types of uranium. So we've got a bunch of 238 and a little bit of 235. So this is eventually going to be processed so that I will either be making fuel cells with it, or we're going to be using a lot of this stuff in another modular machine later on, because there are some processes that I want to do. So over on this side, there is going to be a block called a, let me see, let me find it, modular, modular. Let's see if I can find this thing. It is the, where is it? I should have looked this up. Not the reprocessor. I think it might be the reprocessor. Reprocessor. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it right there. This guy will basically take a little bit of uranium-238 and mix it with a little bit of, well, a lot of uranium-235 and make one uranium-235 and use up a little bit of this. It will also take the waste fuel cells from the reactors that we are going to eventually build and process them back into 238. So there's going to be 3 of those right here. 2 of them will be doing the initial process of basically duplicating the 235 or 235, and this one over here will be doing the fuel cells. All right, so once that's all sorted and everything's going on, then we'll basically be using, we'll start to be using nuclear reactors, which I do have to research, and then I have to research those after the reactor. Reactors are going to be used to power the bucket excavators because they take a lot of power. So then, and they're a remote power situation. It means I can just put a bucket excavator somewhere, fill up a bin or 2 or 5 or 12, and then run it with one of these. So I figure that's pretty simple and easy to do. So over here, and a new texture on the wooden storage crates. It's kind of cool. Over here is where we're going to do the reaction chamber for the titanium. This is going to be an assembler that is going to be used in a later on process once we get some more of the other systems unlocked for the titanium processing. So I think that's going to be titanium alamide. You have to mix the titanium with aluminum and water to make titanium alamide. This back row is going to be where I'm going to have 3 arc furnaces. Now, the reason why I'm doing arc furnaces is because of a couple of things. Titanium processing can be done in a arc furnace for 580 IF a tick for 3 seconds, or in an electric furnace for 420 FE a tick, RF a tick for a good long time. This is not a whole lot more different. So again, they're not going to use the 4,000 or 5,000 standard RF a tick or whatever it is that they normally take to run. Plus, we'll be able to use these things. So this guy right here is going to be doing the regular titanium processing. This one is going to be doing the titanium alamide processing. And I believe the last one, if I can get it to show up, I might not be able to get it to show up. Titanium alamide, this into this in another arc furnace will make us a titanium, or what is it? It's osmium alloyite or some kind of steel thingy. This is what we need to do a lot of the later on chapters when it comes to space, and also the smaller machines like the mechanism branch. So yeah, I know it looks like a lot of stuff, but it's necessary. It's going to be necessary, and for that matter, I have made sure that I ran high voltage lines into the system so that I can directly relay high voltage right straight into the back of both of these, or all 3 of these. It shouldn't take a lot of power to do, because if they're only going to run at 580 RF a tick per cycle and they take 3 seconds to process it, it shouldn't take a lot. And this is one of those things where I'm going to use a lot of this because I need a bunch for the pipes, I need a bunch for the other stuff, so it's just one of those, go ahead, set up the automation. Once these are in place, we will be filling them from various storages in this room, and we'll go from there. Okay, so with all that discussed and said, this is a very simple process over here. Basically what we're doing is we're taking a little bit of uranium and feeding it into this chemical plant. This chemical plant, of course, has a speed module upgrade because this thing is just as fast as this thing is at processing. So I wanted to speed it up slightly, so I had a slight amount of overproduction on this. In order to get the uranium here, these 2 uraniums, you have to crush them. So I can either crush the ore directly and get 2 here, or I can get back over to here, crush the yellow cake, and get the two things that we need. There's an interesting number, and this is when we kind of start thinking about this stuff, is the bottom two numbers there. Eventually, we're going to get into Project E. Eventually. This is a really, really good source of EMC. This is an even better source of EMC. So I want to get rid of all of this. I want to get rid of all of it, which is going to mean I'm going to have to come up with a way to make a lot of sulfur, which we are desperately running out of. I mean, it's full now, but that 2000 again used up quite a bit of sulfuric acid. So some of my intention very soon is to get to let's get these over, nanotechnologies, because in nanotechnologies there is the ability to do a better job of creating sulfuric acid, or at least a little bit more. Well, you get more sulfuric acid per sulfur than you do with the mixers. So it's a nightmare. It's a process that takes forever to set up, and it's huge. So that's kind of the reason why this building is as big as it is, because I need to probably set up at least two of the processes. So we will be setting that process up in here, and then any other extra stuff that it needs to go with, like I don't think I need salt. I think I have to produce like hydrogen and oxygen and all kinds of silly stuff like that will be produced in this building. So, and that's a bucket. Okay, cool. Anyhow, that's for a later day, and hopefully soonish. So the other really nice thing about the yellow cake here is that is or should be the second to last thing that I need in order to be able to do the yellow high-tech science. So I have to create an assembler that will craft the low density structures, which I have a spot marked out for. I'm now producing the yellow cake. The only other thing I need now, because we do have solid fuel, is blue circuits. So in between episodes, I will probably be doing blue circuits, and they're going to be just two little bitty assemblers in here, and we're going to just kind of make a little bit of it. I don't want to make a lot of them because they're really not used for a lot of things other than just this. So there's going to be a little bit of usage in elite bins. There's going to be a little bit of usage in this, and I'm making these differently, so that's not where I'm going to be making them. This is actually more expensive than the other way. And elite bins, I think that's all we've got, other than starting to make some better modules, which we may get into. And I think that's pretty much it. And then of course the last circuit. So these are makeable in many different ways, especially in a precision assembler. This is the best way to make them, is in a precision assembler, so we will be messing with that later on. These eventually, once I get the precision assembler opened up, will be switched over to this, just due to the fact you can save seriously on parts. So, all right. I have some plans to do some goofing off in a couple of episodes from now, so I wanted to come in here and do a little bit of research into military. We haven't touched it. We've just kind of unlocked a few things, and I've been just getting by. Mainly been getting by because of all the powered lanterns all over the place. I have very little mob spawn. The only time I ever get any mob spawn, for that matter, is when I build a building and I don't put any lights in it. So I've been getting away pretty well, pretty scot-free for the most part. I think the only recent thing happened was a creeper somehow came in from some over here, and I was standing right next to that door, and he blew up. He didn't get me, but he blew up, and he made a mess, and I'm getting a little tired of it. So I want to unlock at least the tier 3 of military. I want to see how much fun it is to get to an exosuit for sure. And if we can get down into this line without having too much of a problem, I really want that laser rifle and or the is it the pulse rifle? One of these two right here. I really want one of those two. And then we're just going to try to see how much more stuff we can open up. Grenade launcher would be fun. Rocketry would be cool. We have to unlock that too. And there's a couple other things. So let's start with Advanced Military 3. We need 100 of each. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Detect. Claim. All right, now that's going to unlock some of this stuff down here. Military 4, I still have to wait on lasers and power cells, so that's going to be over in the other area. But I would like to get this one, because I want a little bit better armor. I've been dealing with this garbage armor for a while, and it's getting old. Detect. Claim. Thank you. And we're going to go right on through that if we can get to it. So we need power cells for this. So now we need to go look at power. Power cells, 200 of the red, green, and the blue. So how much do we have on us now? I have that much. So give us a couple of stacks. Yes. Was that enough? Hopefully. Yes. All right. Detect. Thank you very much. These are going to be nice because that will also unlock for us the HV capacitors. There's a problem with the way capacitors work, and they're not the greatest batteries in the world. This thing holds a lot of RF a tick, but due to the configuration of the way this pack is set up, the output and input on the capacitor is halved or however you want to say that, based on the input of the connecting connectors. So this thing can accept clear up, they can all accept clear up to a high voltage capacitor or a high voltage connector, but it'll only input like 2000 RF a tick. Whatever the number is. It's half of whatever the connector can do. It can only input and output half of the number. So that means you have to input and output twice in order to get the full movement. So it's not a terrible thing. It's just that if you're trying to figure out why you're not getting the power usage that you should be getting, that's why. So, and there they go. Okay, cool. All right. So we're going to worry about that later. I want to try to get a bunch of stuff opened up today. So I want that exosuit. Do I have 50 on me? No. Let's get some stuff going. Come on. Thank you. Awesome. Neat. This guy is as good. This is, as far as my preference, I mean, the power armor is cool. I kind of think it's a little slower than this. The exosuit, for one, gives us a pretty good move speed, which is what I'm more interested in. It also knocks up seriously on the mining speed and the knockback resistance. It works great. The only problem is they take more. They take the power cells to be able to use them. So we're going to have to set up a charging station. We're going to have to start making those batteries, which the batteries, I believe I have to use a, what is this thing? Yeah, we have to use a charging station to charge them. And then I think there is another machine that I don't have unlocked yet somewhere, which is the, I don't know, it's another cool little toy. We're going to have to go find that and get it working, which I may end up doing in between episodes. Okay, so what other guns can we get opened up while we're standing here? That we need lasers for. Lasers should be under science. Lasers are 150 of the red, green, and blue. How much do we have? So hit that twice, 1, 2, 3. Detect. Now, this will get us some of the laser technologies and other things. It's kind of nice. We'll be able to make some really cool guns with that. So what did we get now? That should unlock this line, which is going to be 100 of the red, greens, and blues again. So 1, 2, how much have I got on me right now? Way too much. And do that. Yes, very nice, very nice, very nice. So, laser rifle. Ouch. Which one's cheaper? Is this one cheaper? They're both, this has got more, this has more hit points, I believe. This has more damage than this one, but this one shoots faster. Kind of one of those things. I know a lot of the guys have been using this, and I may have to set up the minigun as well, just for fun. And that needs rocketry, that needs explosives. We may be looking into this as well in the nearest future. So I am going to go ahead and unlock the pulse rifle, which I might even have enough on me to do that right now. Good Lord, I have plenty. Go ahead. Come on. There you go. And then we'll go ahead and do that one if we can as well. I need a little bit more green. Come on. Thank you. Awesome. Neat, neat, neat. All right. Now, as the thing here, rifle, we now have the availability. This one does damage. The current thing that I have right now does damage of 8 and 7. The range is pretty good. This one does 12, ranges even further. Velocity is a little faster. This one is, what is it, 30, 40, and set. What is it? Damage is 10 and 8. times 3, so that means 30. See? Means 30. And it also has a pretty good system. So we're going to be making that. I'm not going to be doing it today because it's going to take a lot of stuff to get set up. It's going to take some titanium, which I might even have that. And I probably have a few of these. The only problem is we're going to have to start crafting this stuff, which TGX is a use of lapis and gunpowder and gasoline or biodiesel or some of those. So I may have to input something over here, but that's a problem because I don't have a lot of lapis. I haven't been farming it. I haven't been mining it. I haven't found much of it. So I'm going to have to start doing some of that processing with the lapis. So that will come in time. So let's put some of this back here real quick. Can we put some of this back here real quick? I just want to clean out my inventory because I have a mess. All right. I want to do a little bit more of processing. Is it processing, or do I want to do, yes, I need to do this one. So that's 150 of each here. So again, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and I think it's that one, 1 2 3. I haven't used that much. Go ahead. All right, so again, this thing is going to allow us to process the bitumen into usable oil, and it uses, and let's get out of here. It uses sand and the bitumen and steam. So we're going to have to set up a boiler over there, and I'm going to have to import steam. And I got a pedestal. What kind of pedestal did we get? Oil baron. Awesome. Cool. In prep for that, I went ahead and set up a couple of crushers down here, whose main job is to crush some of the mountains of slag that I have. So I now have 30,000 sand, and I don't know how many thousand gunpowder on hand. So that's cool. That's a good use for that. I will have to build a rail station somehow, some way to get that over to where we want to go, but let's go back over here. The other thing I really wanted to do today, which is going to help in making a few things a little better, is in the last update, somebody added in a very interesting thing here. This is going to give us access not only to the advanced assembler, which is considerably faster than the regular assembler, or the standard assembler. He also gave us back the IE assembler, which is going to be the first thing we can use for automatic 3x3 crafting, and I want that badly. So 150 of each again. So let's see. I should just be able to go boop, 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 and boop, boop. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And that should... Well, what did we get now? Automation 4. Oh, that's cool. I like that. These are neat. All right, so that means that now, not only do I have a faster solution for the assemblers, they do use a lot more power. They use 490 RF a tick, which is something that you have to pay attention to. They also don't create any pollution at all. At all. So moving over to the better assemblers in a lot of these machines in here, especially the ones that are going to be running all the time, or even for that matter, just probably all of them. Like the first two I'm going to replace are going to be these guys, because they're so slow. System's actually running pretty well. I'm really surprised. I figured I'd be lagging out like crazy right now, but we're doing well. What are we doing? F3. Yeah, 40, 32. Not too terrible. Not bad at all. Stuff's floating through the condo or the ducts nicely. Is any of this running? Yep, that one just ran. Let's go upstairs here. Yep, we're working. Nice. It's livable. At this point, it's livable. So, whoop, don't run into the wall. Alrighty then. So, we got a bunch of that stuff handed in. What else could we do since we're staring at it? I really probably should do that one. I got the farms. We're good. Logistics. I could maybe look at those. And that. How about we go do some more, let's do some more logistics. Oh, no, I know what I wanted to do. I know what I wanted to do. There was one other thing I wanted to see if I couldn't get to. This, so that's 10 of red, green, and normal. Military. Awesome. So that will get us the jump pack, and the jet pack is definitely doable. So 100 of red, green, blue, and military. So I have plenty of that on me. I need a little bit more blue and a little bit more of that. That's probably way too much. And I need a little bit more green. All right, detect. Sweet. Oh, that's cool. That means faster travel, doing a few other areas because of the plans I have in the near future. Probably episode 20, maybe 25. I don't know yet. I'm not telling you what I'm going to do, but that will get me some very nice stuff. So a jetpack, basically what it does is it's a jetpack. It allows you to jump and hold, and you can fly in the air. And then if you hold shift, you can have elytra flight. So you can just kind of fly around like you would on an open blocks glider. You just jetpack up in the air and then just fly to wherever you want to go. So it's pretty handy, pretty nice, especially from getting away from mobs that you don't want to have to deal with. So, okay, we're looking around pretty good. Is there anything else that I want to do? I should do that, but we'll do that later. And I'll probably, in between episodes, unlock a lot of this stuff just because, I like to complete things. This is kind of okay, but we have 3x3 mining that can be fixed with, what is it? Efficiency. So I can really, these hammers, I don't need, where is my hammer? There it is. Efficiency 5 on a hammer like that, I can just tear through stuff just as fast as that drill can. So it's kind of nice, it's kind of not. So let's see, can we do anything in processing that we really, really, really need right now? I will unlock that once I have the parts and I think that's pretty good for right now. We'll be looking at some of this other stuff soon. Maybe. Might not be a dumb idea. 32 buckets. How much is this one? Let's just go do a bunch more of this. Let's just knock some of this out. Alright, so that's going to be the lubricator, which I believe last episode or an episode or two before I unlocked the ability to craft biofuel in, where is this? It's in processing. This system right here, which will allow me to create plant oil with the squeezer, I believe, which we can then run the automatic lubricators with, which the automatic lubricators, the crushers will be sped up by, I think it's 1.5 or 1.25%. Pump jacks, excavators, I think that's all about it on that end of it. But for a little bit of lubricant, you can make them run a little bit faster. So it's not a terrible thing to look into. All right. And in here we got this, and this. What did it do? Why did it move? I'm going to go ahead and unlock that tank. Cool. And I'm going to go ahead and unlock this too. So 250 of each, which I need a little bit more of that, and a little bit more of that, and a little bit more of that. And a little bit more green and blue. Detect. So that'll get us the elite bin, which is 32,000 items. It's still not as good as the silo, but at least now I can start to have a backlog of things. If a silo gets full, I can just go ahead and dump it into one of those, which is awesome. This is going to require a lot of things, and so is this, and this. What else can we do? Can we get rid of some more of this stuff? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Please. Now I can get rid of those old biogens, because this guy right here is the advanced biogenerator, which will produce 2,000 RFTech from the same type of biomatter that we're using in our other biogenerators. The biggest problem here is that it will continuously run whether it's being used or not, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of redstone control and things around that, because you can redstone control the modular machines. You can just, put a lever or something or a redstone signal on the controller and they shut off. So I can, for that matter, measure out of a capacitor at this point and tell it when to run. So it's something that we can do. It also will output a couple of interesting things. So let's see if we can get this open. Bio generator. This guy right here. But hang on. Back up. biogenerator will output fertilizer that I can use in my farms, and it will output biomass. And biomass can be burnt in a biogas engine for extra RF. So I think there's other things you can use it for, actually. Where's the button? I think there's other things we can do with it. We can use it to make creeper acid as well, which is something you can't do anything with the still. I don't even know why it's in the game. So, all right, I got another one. Cool. Okay. Anyhow, what do we got left? We're a little bit over time, so that's fine. Let me just do some of that there. One more thing, and then we're done. Yes, I went ahead and set up another one of these. So we'll go ahead and turn that in. That should be the amount that I need for that. Cool. And we're going to go over to our little chunk and turn it in. Come on, game. So back to another challenge. And that is the light engineering blocks challenge. So 6,000 iron ore, 2,500 copper ore, and 10 more diamonds. Sweet. And go ahead and run the command script. Claim. Awesome. Thank you. Wonderful. So we can turn that guy back on, and I can start farming the iron. So alrighty then. I think that's where I wanted to be with this today. I think that's everything I got on my list, at least. So cool. Got a little bit more talking in than I wanted to. We have a problem, and that problem is I do not have enough of the cybernetic parts for the titanium. So I am looking at other ways than having to go to the nether, and I may end up just having to go to the nether to get some cybernetic parts because I know where to get them. So until I have enough cybernetic parts, I can't build anything for the titanium, which is going to be a holdup for some of this stuff. So I will be looking into that, and maybe next episode we may be taking a trip. So all right, guys, I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.